गुरु गौरंगगंधार्विक गिरिधारी शिष्य राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज शुद्ध गुरुदेव की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत शिल सरस बाबूजी महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट शिल सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम शिल जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानु गौड़िय गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शार गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माय की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। जय श्री हरि नाम चिंतामणि की जय। जय श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। जय श्री हरि नाम प्रभु की जय। हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। Jai Shri. Today is, once again, is Purushottam Thakur, is it? Yes. Jai Shri Purushottam Thakur ki Jai, who is Dham Saka in Krishna Lila. Jai. Tadiya Shubha Avirbhav Titi ki Jai. Jai Shri Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Tividito Gaudiya Gurvanvaye Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagane Yogora Sankirtanai Maya Mingilo Daragatan Udhritya Jiva Niman Krishna Prema Sudabdikahana Sukham Pradat Prabhung Tang Bhaje Vande Bhakti Vinodang Shri Gaura Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhim Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Saccidānanda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dattadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Vrishabhanusutan Vitavamatanum Yamuna Tatanagarananda Sutam Murali kalagita vinoraparam bhaja godrumakanana kunjavidum Smaragoragadadharake Bhavagoragadadhara Shrinugoragadadhara Charukatang Bhajagodruma Kanana Kunjavidum Tavaivasmi Na jivami tvaya vina Ittivegaya devi twang nayamang charanantikam bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai kshiptashtakama dittarangamadhe kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna vrinde namaste charanarvindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Nri Hari Prabhu Bhavatarani Mataji Ashray Tattva Prabhu Nitai Mukesh Ji Hari Mohini Didi, who's sitting in my room with me right now. Hari Bo. Prajumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Vidyalala Didi. I'm guessing Indira Mataji and Raseshwari Mataji. And I see there are 5 people watching on YouTube and Facebook. Dandavat pranams Bhavatarani Mataji. Yes, so today's one of my favorite chapters of Harināma-cintāmaṇi. I mean, I haven't read the whole book yet, but I jumped ahead and I looked at this chapter because this one is the most like feels extremely relevant to me. It is on the topic of inattentive chanting. This and Srila Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura categorizes this as the 9th offense. Yeah. So usually when we say the 10 offenses, we at the end of saying all the 10 offenses, we say it is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting, right? But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he grouped Harinam Arthabhara and Harinamni Kalpanam as one. And then in that verse, he said that the word Pramāda means inattentiveness. Let's go over the verse right now, the 10 offenses to the holy name. Let me just open it up. One second, just waiting for it to load. Okay. So yeah, let's recite this. It takes 1 minute, 20 seconds to recite. I timed myself. So Satam Ninda Namna Paramāmaparādham Vitanute Yatha Khyātim Yatam Katamusahate Tar Vigarham Shivasya Shri Vishnur Ya Iha Gunanamadi Sakalam Dhiya Bhinnang Pashyet Sakalo Harinama Hitakaram Kuroravagya Shruti Shastra Nindanam Tathartavado Harinami Kalpanam Namno Baladyasya Hi Papa Buddhir Navidyate Tasya Yamarhi Shuddhi Dharma Vratatyaga Hutari Sarva Shubha Kriya Samyang Api Pramada Ashraddhadhane Vimukhe Pyashrindvati Yashchopadesha Shiva Nāmāparādha Shrutvapi Nama Mahatmyam Yapriti Rahito Dhama Ahang Mamadi Paramo Namni Sopya Paradakrit So we're all familiar with the first offense. Satam Ninda, criticizing sadhus. Of the name, it is the Paramam Aparadam. It is the greatest offense to the name. Vitanute, it expands the greatest offense. Yata kyatim yatam. From those persons who are spreading the glories, spreading the glories of the name. So from those katams usahate tarvikarham. How can the name, katam means how, sahate means how can he tolerate? How can the name tolerate? Sahate, how can he tolerate? Tarvigarham, that abominable act of criticizing sadhus. I've actually not seen word for this, and I don't know Sanskrit, and so I might be a little bit off with how I explain it. But anyways, at least you get the general gist. And then Shivastashi Vishnur ya iha gunanama sakalam dhiya bhinam pashyat sakalu harinama hitakara. That person who sees with his intelligence, bhinam, he sees that what is it? The names, qualities, the guna, the qualities, the name, nam, adi sakalam means and all other things like his pastimes and his beautiful form. So anyone who sees the names, forms, qualities, pastimes of Shiva as being bhinam, as being separate or independent of Vishnu, that person, he, kalu, certainly, harinama hitakara. He acts in a way that is against the whole, like he acts in hostility towards the name. It displeases the name. And then another meaning of this is Shiva can be understood as an adjective of Shri Vishnu. So Shri Vishnu, who is all auspicious. So one who sees Pashat Sa, he who Pashat, who sees with his intelligence, Diya, Bhinam. He sees a difference between Vishnu, the all auspicious Vishnu, and his name, Vishnu and his qualities, Vishnu and his form, Vishnu and his pastimes. One who sees a difference between them, that person also displeases Sri Harinam. So those are the first two offenses. Then Gurur Avagya, disobeying Sri Guru. And then Shruti Shastra Nindanam, criticizing the Shruti Shastras, the Vedas. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur categorizes what we usually have these as two separate ones, like as number 5 and number 6. But Srila Bhaktivinoda, or is it? Yeah, anyways, I don't know. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur makes this all one. So he said, Arthavado Harinamni Kalpanam. So to think that the glories of the name is that we hear, that's just hyperbolic praise, or to make your mundane interpretations of the name, to make your own understanding of the name. So that, and then the next offense, namno baladyasya hipapa buddhir. Navidyate tasya yamar hishuddhihi. I actually didn't really, I didn't think about the Sanskrit at all. I can't really translate that right now. But anyways, namno baladyasya hipapa buddhir. One who has, that person, anyways, I'm just going to explain the essence of it, is one who commits sinful activities, thinking, papa buddhi, like thinking that, oh, by the strength, by the bala, nama balat, by the strength of the name, it will be nullified. Shuddhihi, I'll become purified. Just by, so I can perform sinful activities now, and then I'll nullify those sinful activities by chanting Harinam, because Harinam can remove all sins, right? So that is performing sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. And then the next offense, is this number 7? I think it's 7. Dharma vrata tyaga hutadi sarva shubha kriya samyam api samyam. So that means thinking that shubha kriya, auspicious acts, like all different types of auspicious acts, like dharma, following your religious duty, following varnashram dharma perfectly, vrata, performing different vrats, tyaga means renunciation, huta means like performing different sacrifices, jagyas and things like that, and adi, and all other kinds of shubha kriya, different auspicious acts, giving in charity, doing yoga, all different kinds of us. To think that that is samyam, equal to the holy name. Just thinking, chanting Harinam is just another auspicious act. It's another one of the many auspicious kinds of things that you can do. That's also an offense to the holy name. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur categorizes this one, Pramāda, as a separate offense. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that this Pramāda means anavadhan, I think that's what he said. In other words, inattentiveness, or vyavadhan, inattentiveness. So, and this is what we're reading about today. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he moved this one before Pramāda. This one, Ashradadhane vimukhe prashinvrati yashchopadesha shiva Nāmāparādha. That means giving instructions of to those who have no shraddha, ashradadhane vimukhe prashinvrati yashchopadesha. Yeah. So that is an offense to the auspicious holy name, giving instructions on the holy name to those who have no faith. So I think Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur made this one 8, either 8 or 7, I can't remember. And then Pramāda is 9. That's what we're going over today. And then Shrutvapi Namamahatnam ya priti rahito dhamma ahang mamadi paramo namni sopya parada krit. Even after hearing Shrutva, having heard Namamahatnam, the glories of the holy name, yeah, he who priti rahito dhamma, that adhama, that fallen person who still has no priti, no love, he's devoid of any love for the holy name, due to ahang mamadi paramo, thinking himself to be I and all the possessions to be mine, that person also performs aparad, and he commits an offense to the holy name, certainly. And that's the last offense, which we will go over tomorrow. All right, so and sorry, this is, I haven't actually studied the Sanskrit for this. And so that was just like off the cuff. And I skipped a bunch of things, but anyhow, it's been way too busy for me to spend time on this stuff. Okay. So now, and this chapter is, like so far everything that we've been reading in Harināma-cintāmaṇi are like all the offenses are things that we don't do when we're like in the act of chanting. It's all things that we do like just how we live our lives, if we criticize sadhus, if we like our conceptions about things and like that. But now this chapter is directly when we're in the process of chanting, like when we're the holy names coming out of our mouths and we have our hands touching our beads. This whole chapter is very practical for when you're actually chanting. And so yeah, I really like this chapter. It's very practical. Okay. And Haribo Vidyalala Sadidi. And at the end, when we finish reading this, we will read about Purushottam Thakur. How do I refresh this? Is it like that? No. Sorry, 1 second. Oh, it's Shift R. Shift R. There. Okay. Jai Jai Mahaprabhu Jai Bhaktagan Jader Prasade Kori Nama Sankirtan. Glories to Mahaprabhu. Glories to the devotees. It is by their mercy that I engage in Nam Sankirtan. Pramāda Namka Aparad. Pramāda Namak Aparad. Inattention as an offense to the name. Haridasa bole Prabhu, Hetha Sanatane, Arto Gopal Bhatta, Dakhina Brahmane, Shikhaile Apramade, Shri Krishna Bhajan, Pramad ke Aparade Korile Ganan. Haridas said, O Lord, you taught to Sanatan here and to Gopal Bhatta while traveling in the south that one should not be inattentive during Sri Krishna bhajan. Thus, pramad, inattention, is counted as an offense. And then Mahaprabhu told to Sri Sanatan Goswami, Eka anga sade ke ho, sade bahu anga, nishta hoile upajay premer taranga. That's Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 22:134. That means, whether one performs one or many divisions of bhakti, when nishta appears, the waves of prem will awaken. By abandoning pramad or inattention, then nishta at the time of sadhan is born. How do we get to the stage of nishta? Being completely unwavering in our, having unwavering resolve in our practice, is when we abandon pramad, our chanting Harinam inattentively. That's when we get to nishta in this sadhan. Anya aparad tyaji sada naam loy, tabu name prem nahi hoy to udoy. Some give up all the other offenses and constantly chant the name. Anya aparad tyaji, all the other offenses that we've been discussing, they give them all up. And sada naam loy, and they're always chanting. Tabu name prem nahi hoy to udoy. But still, Nam prem nahi hoy. There's no love, no name, no prem for the name arises within them. Why is that? Tabe jani pramad namete aparad prem bhakti sadhanete korite che badha. Sorry. Then I know that the Nāmāparādha of Pramād is impeding their sadhan and their attainment of prem bhakti. So I might be doing everything perfectly right, not making any of the other offenses and chanting all the time, but still there's no love for the name arising. Why is that? It is because chanting inattentively. That's impeding their attainment of prem bhakti. Anavadhan ke pramad bole. Inattention is known as pramad. I actually want to look up this word, anavadhan. 1 second. Let me just. Oops. So anavadhan in the dictionary is want of attention, inattention, carelessness, negligence, inadvertence. Okay. Pramad anavadhan e mool artha iha hoite ghate prabhu Shakal Anartha. The original meaning of pramad is inattention. O Lord, from this, all other anarthas arise. All our obstacles arise from this pramad. Haribol, Sarveshwari Mataji and Chatamai Mataji. I didn't see you before. Haribol. Because people were telling me that um all the offenses I've heard this that all Haribol. I heard that that chanting inattentively was the root of all the other 10 offenses, yeah, all the other 9 offenses. But this just says anartha. So it's the root of all anarthas. So maybe it's, yeah, I don't know. Because I was thinking, I was like, really, like chanting inattentively is the root of criticizing sadhus. It didn't totally make sense to me. So I don't know. I think, um, anyways, pramada anavadhana e mula artha iha hoite ghate prabhu shakal anartha. The original meaning of pramad is inattention. O Lord, from this all other anarthas arise. Tin prakar anavadhan, the 3 types of inattention. Odasinya jadya ar vikep etin prakar anavadhan bujhibe praveen. Those who are wise understand 3 types of inattention. There's odasinya, that means indifference, jadya, laziness, and vikshepa, distraction. And now Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is going to go into all these 3. Odasinya, jadya, and vikshepa. That's indifference, laziness, and distraction. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, in respect to sadhan, odasinya means a lack of nishta, a lack of firm resolve and steadiness in your chanting. Jadya means laziness, you're lazy about chanting. And vikship means that the mind is invested in other things. I'm just trying to think of like, so odasinya means a lack of nishta. So that means sometimes chanting, sometimes not chanting, like not having I don't know. I'm not I'm not speaking authoritatively right now. I'm just trying to yeah, just speaking myself. Then jadya means laziness. So does that mean like getting my bead bag and then laying down and like laying down to chant and just kind of lazily chanting? And then vikship means my mind is invested in other things. So looking at my phone while chanting, vikship. I don't know. I'm just, we'll see, well, this will be clarified as we keep on reading. Anurag nahawa parjanta nam grahane jatner avashakta. If one has not achieved anurag, then it is required that one should chant the name with great care. Anurag nahawa parjanta nam grahane jatner avashakta. Okay. কোন ভাগ্যে কোন জীবের শ্রদ্ধা যদি হয় তবে তিহ হরি নাম গ্রহণ করয়. Due to some good fortune, if a jiva attains shraddha, then he can chant Harinam. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, one should keep count on tulsi beads, and gradually a desire will arise to increase the number. How does the desire arise to increase the number? If we're chanting on tulsi beads and we're not chanting inattentively, then we'll want to keep on increasing our chanting. Jatna kori smare nam sankhyar sahita tabe name anurag hoito udita. By carefully remembering the name and keeping count, anurag, attraction for the name, will develop. Je parjanta anurag na hoy udoy, se parjanta jatna kori nam sadaloy. As long as anurag has not appeared, one should endeavor to constantly chant the name. This is a nice point. I remember somebody was asking in Badger. I remember this when I was little, when somebody was asking our Gopanandini Mataji. The, I think maybe my Gurudev said this, or I don't know, but I just remember her saying this. That how do I chanting is so boring. Like how do I make it more interesting? And what is the answer to that? Chant more. If you're struggling chanting, if you're struggling while chanting, then the way to fix that is just to chant more. That's it. And that's what this verse is saying, right? It's saying Jay Parjanta Anurag na hoy udoy. Um, as long as Anurag has not appeared, no anurag for the name, no attraction and for the holy names appeared, then jatna kori nam sadaloy. Then one should constantly endeavor to chant. And jatna doesn't jatna can mean like means endeavor, but let's see. Jat oops. Ah, jat oops. Jatna means cares, pains, endeavor, exertion, effort, labor, application, perseverance, zeal, attention, consideration. So jatna is a very diverse word and all these things. So one should chant carefully. One should apply oneself when they're chanting. One should give their attention when they're chanting. They should chant with zeal, enthusiasm, with effort, when go through, yeah. Jatna bhave sadhaker chitta sthir hoina. The sadhak who is careless cannot steady the minds. So if there's an abhav of jatna, if there's an absence, a lacking of jatna, of endeavor, of applying oneself when they're chanting, of chanting with care, then chitta sthir hoina. Then the minds or the heart will never be steady. It's not steady. Nisargata loksa vishaye asakta smriti kale vishaya antare anurakta. People are naturally attracted to sense objects. At the time when one remembers them, the internal senses become attached to them. Yes. Vishaya antare, sense objects in the mind. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Vishaya antare, sense objects in the mind means other things unrelated to Krishna. Ruchi jai anyasthane name udasin, name chitta magna nahe jape pratidin. By having a taste for other things, one becomes indifferent to the name. Even by chanting japa every day, still one's mind is not absorbed in the holy name. By having a taste for other things, one becomes indifferent to the name. Even by chanting japa every day, still one's mind is not absorbed in the holy name. Yes, and I've noticed it's a lot more difficult to chant when my mind is, if I watch a TV series and I get absorbed in that, and like then, yeah, your mind gets absorbed in mundane things, any and other things. Okay, chitta ekadike ar anya dike nam tahar mangala kise hoy gunadham. The mind will be in one direction, while the name will be in another direction. O abode of all good qualities, how can such a person attain any auspiciousness? Chitta ek dike ar anya dike nam. So when we chant, our mind, our heart should not be in one direction and the name in another direction, but they should be aligned. They should be okay. Lakhanam hoile purna sankhya mala gani hridaye nahilora ras bindu gunamani. O gunamani, O jewel of all qualities. One may complete chanting a lakh of names. One may chant 100,000 names. That means 64 rounds on the beads. But not even a drop of ras appears in the heart. Eto anavadhan dosher prakar vishayi hridaye prabhu borodur nivar. This is the fault with this kind of inattentiveness. It is extremely difficult to remove from the heart of those who are attached to sense objects. Okay, so that's an essential part, that we have to be attentive and we shouldn't be absorbed in mundane things. Otherwise, you'll be chanting 64 rounds a day and still there won't even be a drop of ras. Your chanting will be completely dry. So it's not just about the numbers. It's not at all about the numbers. I mean, no, the numbers, no, it is about the numbers to some degree, but not if the numbers are important, but it's not if you are absorbed in mundane things, like in other things other than the name. Jatna Koribar Vidhi, the rules for being careful. Okay, so he mentioned three types of inattentiveness. The first was Odasinya, right? That means, um, yeah, being indifferent to the name. Now he's going through the second one. Jatna Koribarviti, the rules for being careful. Sadhu Sange Swalpakal Chariya Vishay Nirjane Loile Nam E Doshakoy. In a short time, one can abandon sense objects through sadhu sangha. This fault is destroyed by chanting the name in a secluded place. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, initially, one may regularly follow in this way for for a half hour, starting with chanting the name in a secluded place in the association of sadhus. Eventually, by observing the nature of those sadhus, one will emulate them, abandon his indifference, and a desire for service will arise. I like how Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, initially one may regularly follow in this way for half an hour. He's making it really easy. We can try to chant for half an hour in a secluded place in the association of sadhus. And right, we've heard so many times that real seclusion means being in association with devotees. That's the meaning of nirjan, is being secluded from non-devotees, from materialists. But being in good association, that is real nirjana. So being in a secluded place in the association of sadhus. Just for half an hour, you can try chanting like that. Then eventually, by observing the nature of those sadhus, one will emulate them, and then abandon his indifference, and a desire for service will arise. Krame krame Krishna name chitta hoy sthir, nirantar namarase hoito adhir. Gradually, the mind will become fixed upon Krishna Nam. Then one loses all composure by perpetually tasting Namaras. Tulasir sannikate Krishna lila sthane sadhu sannidhane boshi satvata vidhane. The Sattvat Vidhan, the method prescribed by the sadhus, states that one should reside near Tulsi, a place of Krishna's pastimes, and in the company of sadhus. And wouldn't Srila Haridas Thakur, he would sit in front of Tulsi and chant, right? That was his practice. So, yes. And that's something everybody can do anywhere. Everybody has Tulsi plants usually, right? And so you can sit in front of Tulsi and chant. Or if you don't have Tulsi, you can have a picture of Tulsi. I remember we used to. Okay. Sattvat Vidhan, the method prescribed by the sadhus. That means the method of the previous sadhus absorbed in the bliss of bhajan. First one chants for half an hour, then an hour. Then one gradually increases his chanting to 2 hours. Then gradually his chanting is increased to 1 lakh, to 64 rounds. And then to 3 lakhs, to 192 rounds. Such an increase develops naturally. Haribol Rukmini Didi, I didn't see you before. Okay, yeah, the all other anarthas things makes more sense to you too. Cool. Okay. Krame kal vriddhi kori shei nam smare ati shighra vishayer chanda hoite tare. Gradually, one increases his time meditating on the name and very quickly transcends the desire for sense objects. Okay, so now anya prakriya, erup korile udasinya rup anavadhan hoina. Okay, so another method which does not lead to indifference. So here's another method. If you follow this method that's gonna be described now, then udasyan, then you won't fall the into the inattentive, the what was it? Udasinya. That was the first one, right? Udasinya, jatna, no, jadya, and God, what was the third one? Oh, it was vikshepa, I think. Atava nirjana boshi smari sadhuriti indriya pidhan kori name kore mati. Otherwise, wait. Let's just see that. Gradually, one increases his time chanting, meditating on the name, and very quickly transcends the desire for sense objects. Otherwise, one may sit in a secluded place, remembering the method of the sadhus. By covering the senses, one may fix the mind on the name. By covering the senses. How do you cover your senses? Let's see. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Indriya pidhan kori, covering the senses. That means sitting alone in a room with the door closed, or covering the eyes, nose, etc., with a cloth during sadhan. I think also you might also be in a room alone with the door closed, but have to put your mobile phone. I'm sure Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur would have added mobile phone if those were present then. So yeah, keep your mobile phone in the other room and be in a closed room. And you can also cover your eyes, nose like that with a cloth. That's interesting. Actually, I remember, Gaur Sundar Prabhu, the Kirtaniya, and Suchandra and Chandrakanta, that family. Um, so their father, um, God, why is his name? Why can't I think of his name? I know him very well. Anyways, my brain's anyhow. He would make a bucket. He made a bucket with some holes in it. And inside the bucket he put like pictures of Radha and Krishna. And actually I think there's a picture on Facebook. I'll try to find it. And so then if somebody was talking to him, you just like turn around the bucket where there's eye holes and then you're like, what do you want? With a big bucket on his head. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying here to do like, yeah, you should cover your eyes with a cloth. That's one way you can block the senses from a chanting bucket. Okay. At the ends, if there's time, I'll look for the picture of his chanting bucket. Satvare namete nishta ruchi krame hoy, odasinya doshetar krame hoy koi. Swiftly,
sorry to interrupt you, but I was trying to get the TV down, the YouTube. I watch on YouTube.
Oh,
his name is Chiranjeev. I don't know if you remember.
Chiranjeev, obviously.
Yeah,
Yes,
Chiranjeev
thank you.
Prabhu. Yeah, he was one of the first disciples of Prabhupada here in Hawaii.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, and his family is part of royalty, Hawaiian royalty.
Really? Interesting. Yeah. Have you seen his chanting bucket?
No, but he told me about it.
Okay.
He lives in Maui, different island.
Yes.
Married
to Shamapriya, the most amazing cook ever.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
Okay. So, Jadya Janita Anavadhan Lakhan. The symptoms of inattention arising from laziness. Okay, so I guess that was all on the topic of Odasinya. Now is Jadya Janita. Jadya was laziness, right? Yeah, okay. Jadye je anavadhan alaser manim tahe ruchi nahi hoy Shri Nam grahanim. Inattention from Jadya stems from an idle mind. Thus, a taste will not arise when chanting Shri Nam. One's lazy. When there's inattention coming from laziness, that stems from an idle mind. Thus, a taste will not arise when chanting Shri Nam. So we shouldn't have an idle mind when we chant either. What does it say? Allah sermani. Allah sir. Smriti kale puna shigra virame prayas. E doshe nam rasa na hoy prakash. At the time of remembering the holy name, one will endeavor to finish one's chanting quickly. Due to this fault, nam ras will not manifest. Huh. Shigra virame prayas. Trying to chant really quickly just to get it over with. Namras won't manifest if you chant like that. God. Yeah. Anya karje, I'm feeling great. Anyways, whatever. Anya karje vritakal na hoy japan sadhugan iha chinti smare anukan. Sadhus never waste time in other useless activities, but remember the name at every moment. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, the symptom of a sadhu's character is avyartha kalatva dharma. His nature is that he does not waste his time engaging in unnecessary activities, and one should emulate this. Nam smare rase maje anya nahi chai, sheirup sadhu sange e dosha jai. Meditating upon Nam and absorbed in the ras, they desire nothing else. This fault of laziness, of jadya, vanishes in the association of sadhus. Anveshiya sheirup sadhu sanga kore, tar anukarane chitta jadya parihare. In this way, one must search for sadhu sangha, and by emulating them, one will avoid mental laziness. Usually, I'm used to hearing like Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada would say, we shouldn't do anukaran, we should do anusaran. We shouldn't try to mimic the Vaishnavas, but we should try to follow them. But maybe that's getting to, yeah. Anyways, here, emulating, I think it's probably a good word. I think it means following, anyways, in this context. Sorry. Okay, so Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, a Vishuddha sadhu bhakta, a pure devotee sadhu, is very rare. Searching from place to place, one will eventually find sadhu sangha. Searching from place to place, one will eventually find sadhu sangha. Yeah, so one must search for sadhu sangha. We shouldn't just wait for sadhus to, like whenever a sadhu comes, but we should actually also search for sadhu sangha. That's interesting, huh? Okay. Avyarta kalatva dharma sadhur charita dekhile tahate ruchi hoibe nishchita. It is the nature of a sadhu's character not to waste time in useless things. Observing such actions, an aspiring devotee will certainly attain ruchi. Mane habe aha kabe ihar saman smaribo gaibo nam hoye bhagyavan. He will think, oh, when will I be, sorry, he will think, oh, when will I be the same as this? When will I become fortunate enough to remember and chant the name like him? Sheto utsaha asi alaser manim jadya dur kore Krishna namer smaranim. In this way, he will become enthusiastic. Lazy thoughts stemming from jadya will go far away, and he will be able to remember Krishna Nam. So when we finally find the sadhu and we're in his association or in her association, then we'll see, oh wow, see how absorbed they are in chanting, and then we'll get enthusiasm. I want to be like that. When can I be the same like this? When will I become fortunate enough to remember and chant the name of Bhagavan like him? Mone habe aj lakha naam je koribo, krame krame tin lakha naam je smaribo. He will think, today I will chant 1 lakh of holy names, and gradually I will meditate upon 3 lakh of names. Mahagraha habe chitte namer sankhyaye, achire jaibe jadya sadhur kripai. In his mind, he has great eagerness, and he chants a fixed number of names. Very soon, jadya, laziness, goes away by the mercy of the sadhu. Okay, so those were the first two, Odasinya and Jadya. And now is the third one, Vikshep. Vikshep Janita Anavadhan Lakhan. Understanding the characteristics of distraction. Oh, but I see there is only 10 minutes left to read, or 9 minutes left to read. And we're a bit over halfway through this chapter, so I've been going really slow. But I'm thinking maybe we can stop here for now, and now we can read a bit about Sri Purushottam Thakur, whose appearance day it is. Today we can read from the book Sri Chaitanya and His Associates by Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj. And then we can we can revise what we've gone through already in this chapter, and then we can finish this chapter tomorrow. And even though this is such a short chapter, I was going through it a bit slow because it's so important and so practical, and so I thought it's just better to spend a little bit of time with it. We could have easily read through the whole chapter today, but I just thought this one would be nice to go through it slow. So yeah, so we'll find out about the third form of inattentiveness called vikshep tomorrow. And the method for, and it seems like the method for all three of them is the same. It's being in sadhu sangha. So, all right. So now, Sri Purushottam Das. Let me just double make extra sure it's right. Yes, Purushottam Thakur. Okay. So today is his appearance day. Jai Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Okay. Sada Shiva Suto Namna Nagara Purushottamam Vaidya Vangshodbhavo Namna Damayo Vallabho Vraje. Actually, 1 second. Sorry, guys. I just want to see. Tyagar Upay. Maybe let's just, because then we'll go through all three forms. Let's just finish this part. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry to jump here and there. Okay, yeah, let's just finish this. Vikshep, guys, I'm really sorry about that. Vikshep Janita Anavadhan Lakhan. So understanding the characteristics of distraction. Vikshep. Vikshep hoite je pramada udoy bahu jatne she aparada hoy koi. The inattention that comes from vikshep is an aparad, is an offense which can only be destroyed with great effort. Kanaka kamini ar joy parajay pratishtasha shatyavritti tahar niloy. It resides in the desire for gold, women, the victory and defeat of others, hankering for prestige, and the tendency to deceive. Tahar niloy. They reside, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Tahar niloy. They reside here, means these are the residences for jadya, for laziness. Where are they? It's in the desire for gold, women, the victory and defeat of others, hankering for prestige, the tendency to deceive. These are all the residences of jadya. Okay. Eshab akrishti hriday hoile udoy namete anavadhan swabhavata hoy. When attraction for all these arises in the heart, one naturally becomes inattentive to the name. Akrishta means pulled or drawn towards. So when attraction, when akrishta, when one is drawn towards or pulled towards all these, then one naturally becomes inattentive to the name. And now the method of abandoning distraction. I'm not going to read the Bengali. I'll just read the section and then we'll. Gradually, one gives up thinking about all these things. One who is most fortunate endeavors to follow the conduct of a Vaishnava. Firstly, on days that are sacred to Hari, one should renounce even the thought of food. Does it say that? It says bhog chinta. It means enjoyment. It could also mean food. Bhog is also eating, but bhog can also mean enjoying in any different kinds of ways. So on days sacred to Hari, one should renounce even any kind of bhog. And in the association of sadhus, worship Harinam day and night. In a place sacred to Hari, with Hari's servants and reading Shastra about Hari, one should absorb oneself in such supremely blissful festivals without any fear. Gradually, one spends more and more time wrapped in activities connected to bhakti. The mind becomes immersed in a festival of bliss when engaged in Harikatha. Eventually, the greatest ras dawns within the heart. Then one will definitely abandon the mediocre ras of mundane things. Hearing songs about Hari from the mouths of a Mahajan, one's mind and ears becomes charmed and relish such ras. Hari Sangeet, songs about Hari, all these different bhajans that we have. When the desire for inferior sense objects disappears, the mind becomes steady in chanting the holy name. Thus, one should endeavor to reject this type of pramāda. Then, with a steady mind, one will always be immersed in Nam Ras. Okay, so and then the next section is Agraha, eagerness. So we will read all this. We'll reread. We'll go through all of this again tomorrow, and we will finish the chapter tomorrow. All right. So now let's read about Shri Purushottam Jai, Śrīla Haridas Ṭhākura ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Saccidānanda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki Jai, Jai Harināma-cintāmaṇi ki Jai. Okay. So now, Shri Purushottam Das. This is from Śrīla Bhakti Bhagavad Tirtha Goswami Maharaj. Sada Shiva Suto Namna Nagara Purushottamam Vaidya Vanshod Bhavo Namna Damayo Valabho Vraje. Nagar Purushottam was previously the cowherd named Dama in Vraj. He is now born in a Vaidya family as the son of Sadashiv. That's from the Gaur Ganodesha Dipika 131. Is Dama a Priya Narmasaka? Think so, but I can't remember. Dama was one of the 12 Gopalas and a companion of Krishna in his childhood pastimes in Vraj. In the 11th chapter of the Adi Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has listed Purushottam Das amongst the foremost devotees of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And now here's a quote from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 11. It says, Sadashiv Kaviraj was a great personality. Purushottam Das was his son. From birth, Purushottam Das was absorbed in the service of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, and he always engaged in childlike play with Lord Krishna. His son was named Sri Kanu Ṭhākura, a very respectable gentleman. His body was saturated with the nectar of love for Lord Krishna. I like how Purushottam Das, the father, he was always engaged in childlike play with Lord Krishna. And his son, he was a very respectable gentleman, but the father was always absorbed in childhood play. Okay. Vrindavan Das Thakur has also named Purushottam Das as one of Nityananda Prabhu's chief associates. He's one of the Dwadash Gopals, chief associates of Nityananda Prabhu. And now here, this is from Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antyakanda, chapter 5, says, Sadashiv Kaviraj was very fortunate to have a son like Purushottam Das. Purushottam Das had no external consciousness of his body, for Nityananda Prabhu dwelled in his heart. For 4 generations, the family of Purushottam Thakur consisted of eternally perfect direct associates of Mahaprabhu. There's Kangsari Sen, Sadashiva Kaviraj, Purushottam Thakur, and Kanu Thakur. Such a thing is quite uncommon. 4 generations of Mahaprabhu's associates. The Gaur Ganodesha Dipika, verse 156, identifies Kangsari Sen as Ratnavali and Sadashiv Kaviraj as Chandravali. Interesting. Rukmini Didi, or if anybody else knows, is Ratnavali like a sister of Chandravali? Are related to Chandravali at all in any way? Lots of times their names are very similar in Braj. Okay. Purushottam Thakur's wife was named Janava Devi. Wow, another Janava. She died while her son, Kanu Thakur, was just a young child. Nityananda Prabhu names the boy Shishu Krishnadas. Shishu means baby, baby Krishnadas. It is said that Nityananda Prabhu's wife, Janava Devi, adopted Kanu and took him with her. And she took him with her to Vrindavan. Wow. So he went from one Janava, his mother, his biological mother was Janava Devi, who died when he was young, and then Nityananda Prabhu's wife, Janava, also Janava, she took him with her to Vrindavan. She adopted him, Kanu. Some say that he was also one of the 12 Gopalas. Once while in Vrindavan, when Kanu Thakur was dancing in Kirtan, his ankle bell flew off. He vowed that he would make his residence wherever the ankle bell was recovered. We also hear of, was it Abhiram Thakur, right? He was dancing and his ankle bell went flying like miles, I think. Anyway, so same thing happened with Kanu Thakur. And so the ankle bell was found in the town of Bodhakana in the Jessore district. And so he established his Shripat there. Madhavacharya, that's Madhav Chattopadhyay of Jirat, was Purushottam Thakur's disciple. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur has the following to say about Purushottam Thakur's Shripat. Purushottam Das Thakur lived at Sukosagar, midway between Chakdaha and Simurali of the Nadia district. The deities he served were formerly in Beladanga village, but when the temple fell into the river, the deities were taken to Sukosagar. That temple was also swallowed by the Ganga, and so the deities were brought with Janava Mata's deity to Sahib Danga Berigram. Since that place was also destroyed, all the deities were again moved about 3 or 4 miles to the village named Chanduregram, on the banks of the Ganga, about 1 mile up from Palpara. Well, that's a lot of moving around, huh? It's like, was that 4 or 5 times? So that's from the Anubhashya of Chaitanya Charitamrita on the 11th chapter of Adi Lila. Devakinandan Das, the author of the Vaishnava Vandana, was Purushottam Thakur's disciple. Oh, very neat. I didn't know that. So now we know the song that we sing every morning, Vrindavana Vasi Jata, Vaishnava Ergan. That Devakinandan Das is a disciple of Purushottam Thakur. He actually wrote a very beautiful song to Nityananda Prabhu called Gajendra Gamani Nitai. Maybe I should add that in the songbook. We already finished the Nitai chapter, but because sometimes Suwal sings that song. But now I know that he has like a direct link to Nityananda. Devakinandan Das has a direct connection to Nityananda Prabhu through Purushottam Thakur. Okay, so Devakinandan Das writes, I worship Sadashiv Kaviraj with great attentiveness. He was constantly intoxicated with love and had no external consciousness. I worship my worshipable Lord, Purushottam Thakur. Who can list his incomparable qualities? He was merciful to those who were devoid of virtue, displaying the natural power of his compassion. When only 7 years old, he was so intoxicated with love for Krishna that he danced in a way that enchanted the entire world. The little 7-year-old. Purushottam Thakur. Okay, now the following supplementary information is given in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidhan. Some people say that Purushottam's surname was Nagar, while others say that the name Nagar comes from the name of the area where he lived. Since 14 villages, Beladanga, Berigram, Sukosagar, Chandure, Manaspota, Palapar, etc., are under one administrative unit in Panchanagar, this area is sometimes called Nagardesh. Purushottam ate snake poison Purushottam ate snake poison when in a trance state, without experiencing any ill effects. This was also a source of great astonishment to all those who witnessed it. Many of Nityananda Prabhu's associates often displayed such miraculous powers. Jai Shri Purushottam Ṭhākura ki Jai. Jai Shri Dham Saka ki Jai. All right. So that is our reading for today. Jai Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. It's all thanks to Srila Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj that we are able to know about all these personalities so easily on all their days. We don't have to go through all this research trying to find out about them. He just gave it all to us, made it possible for us to follow these days. Also, Srila Bhaktivedanta Parati Goswami Maharaj did like that as well. He gave so much emphasis on the holy titis. So, yeah. All right. We'll end here. I'll just do a short Mahamantra, and then tomorrow we will continue reading this chapter. All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Bol Hari Bol. I think this is my last time reading here also. I don't know, I might stay the night, but Madhav Maharaj will be arriving in, right now it's 8 a.m. He'll be arriving in less than 2 hours from now. And so I'm already moved all my stuff out of the room. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna go stay in Mayapur tonight or if I'm gonna go tomorrow. But I'm gonna pack up this mic until after Gaur Purnima is the next time I use this mic and be in this setup. But yeah. All right. Jai Shri Saccidānanda Gaur Hari ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki Jai. Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Jai Srila Param Gurudev ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai. Swaparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrindevi ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Jai Shri Śrīla Saccidānanda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki Jai. Jai Shri Harināma-cintāmaṇi ki Jai. Nāmāparādha Śrīla Haridas Ṭhākura ki Jai. Jai Shri Saccidānanda Gaur Hari ki Jai. Shri Harinam Prabhu ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Jai Shri Purushottam Ṭhākura ki Jai. Jai Swaparshad Shri Gaur Hari ki Jai. Jai Shri Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Ancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Dandavat pranams Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Nitai Mukeshji, Ashray Tattva Prabhu, Sarveshwari Mataji, Chatamai Mataji, and let's see who else is there. Prajumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Vidyalala Sadidi, Champak Mataji, Rukmini Didi. I'm guessing Raseshwari Mataji and Indira Mataji are there. And all the other devotees, there are 8 devotees on YouTube and Facebook. Dandavat pranams. Also pranams to all devotees watching in the future. So tomorrow we will complete this chapter. We'll revise what we read already, and we'll complete the chapter on inattentiveness while in chanting the holy name. Hari Bol. Jai Shri Radhe. Is there anything anybody wants to mention before I end the stream? Yes, Sarveshwari Mataji.
Yes, are you going to do the parikrama? The parikrama now?
Yes. No. We're starting on we'll do Sankalpa on the 7th, and then our first day of parikrama will be on the 8th. And yeah, it's just going to be a small group of devotees. We're doing it from Mayapur. And actually Nemi Maharaj will be joining us. Nemi Maharaj and Brajanath Prabhu will be joining us. Radhakanta Prabhu will join. And a lot of really nice devotees. I think Vipin Prabhu might join sometimes. and my parents will be there, and Kishor's family, and Govinda, Jai Govinda. Yeah,
So
we're
it's
just
it's a small group, no? It's not a part of the all parikrama
yeah, small group. Yeah, I'm
because
guessing.
it's,
I
yeah.
don't actually know how many people will be joining. Oh, maybe Ashray Tattva will be joining us also, who's with us right now. Yes, awesome. Yeah, it'll be a small group. Yeah,
So
maybe like 30 to 40 people, I'm guessing.
oh,
Yeah.
nice. But will be not, so you will not able to do arikata? No, not reading for one
Yeah,
week.
I won't be doing reading during that time.
1 week.
No. Yeah, for 1 week. Yeah, until I mean on Gaur Purnima Day I'll do a program. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I won't be. Unless if we don't manage to finish, I think we can finish Harināma-cintāmaṇi before we start. If we don't manage to finish, then I'll do a pre-recorded video to finish because I want to finish like now. I don't want to like make another big gap in between, but I think we'll be able to finish before Purigma starts.
Are you going to post some picture or something? Because I cannot go in this time. I cannot go to Mayapur. Are you going to be?
Okay, maybe we can do that. I can post in the Bhaktivinoda Kiti Dhara WhatsApp group. I can post some pictures every day. If anybody wants to join that WhatsApp group, let me know. Sometimes I do that, right? Or when I go to a place, I'll just take a picture and put it in our WhatsApp group. So yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, we organized our parikrama. We got the schedules of Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, Gopinath Gaudiya Math, IGBT, GVST, all the different parties that we could find. And then we made a chart to see where everybody would be, like on all the different days. And then we found all the gaps. And so we tried to make it so that we're going to all the places when there is not a big party there. That's how
But
we organize the
Prabhu,
schedule.
sorry, but Madhava Maharaj, it will be with you in this group? Nimi
No.
Maharaj and Madhava Maharaj?
Madhav Maharaj, if I open up my window right there, you'll see there's a massive pandal. And the cooks already arrived. There's like 40 cooks. They arrived last night. And yeah, there's going to be a ginormous parikrama. I think bigger than last year. Last year there was already thousands of people, and this year's going to be tons of people. Yeah, and lots of Western devotees are joining this parikrama here this time
But
also.
Madhava Maharaj is with all the Bengali devotees like that? What?
Yeah, but all Bengali devotees, but I actually at Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, all the Western devotees I think are going to be staying in the guest house at Chaitanya Saraswat Mat.
Chaitanya
Um,
Saraswati. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, it's going to be a big parikrama this year here. So I
Anyway,
am
if
going to
you
just
can
escape
here
it.
and there, post something. Go say, I just this
Okay,
time
yes.
go there.
Yeah, no, that I mean, during our parikrama, I am going to be playing the mridanga probably most of the time. So oh, Vijay Krishna is going to be joining us from the Kirtaniyas, the Kirtaniya, and also Janava will be joining us. Janava sings really nicely. Yeah, we're gonna this and also maybe my cousin Manjari, she'll be joining us. So we're gonna have lots of Kirtaniyas,
Oh,
lots of
wow.
Kirtaniyas and lots of Harikatha speakers. I'm really excited for this program. But yeah, I probably won't. Maybe I can take a picture sometimes.
That's
But a lot of devotees, I remember last year, a lot of devotees were taking pictures, and at the end, I think we did this, that we made a Google, a shared Google folder, and everybody uploaded their pictures to one folder so that
all
all the
right,
pictures
right,
were in one
right.
spot. So yeah, everybody who joins this program, they can have special access to the photos.
All right, all right. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Haribol. Haribol. All right, so see you all tomorrow. I don't know where from, either from here in Navadip, maybe I'll sit in the Goshala with the cows, or tomorrow, or maybe from Mayapur. We'll see. But thank you so much for joining, and